Welcome.
And welcome to the show. I am your host, Joey Wobbs, and welcome to Have Your Say. This is more going to be along the lines of open forum. You're more than welcome to come. Anybody's more than welcome to come on and have their say at any point. Only two people are allowed on the show at a time. If I already know you, then you don't have to have your camera on. Rules are pinned at the top, and the link is available for you to join the show. So I want you guys to have your say. Really, this is your opportunity to come on the channel and say your piece about what's going on. I'm gonna leave this link is gonna be available throughout the show. We're gonna go for a little bit over an hour, and then but we're gonna talk about all Premier League stuff. So even if you're not a Chelsea fan, you're more than welcome to come on. If you are a Chelsea fan, you're more than welcome to come on and speak your truth. But today is just to kind of talk on all Premier League clubs. And once again, you come on, you say your piece. I'm gonna pull up a few, just like Fabrizio for a bit. We're gonna talk about some of the things that are kind of going on, and we'll go from there. If anybody wants to come on and have their say, I know a few of my friends are gonna be coming through, so we could all have a conversation from there. And big up my guy Unknown for coming through. As always, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button while you're in here. All right. So obviously, like Florian, yeah. But this is the interesting stuff right here. Andy Robertson, Atletico Madrid are looking at trying to get a left back. It looks like Andy Robertson's at the top of the list. I'm reading that Piero Hincapié is at the top of their list as well. That saddens my heart because I think Chelsea should be going for him. But this is interesting because the whole Milan scenario, Theo Hernandez used to play for Atletico Madrid, and like this is a very interesting scenario in this manner. Like I just Atletico tried to get a steal on Theo Hernandez, and then I think they tried to get him for like 20 million, and Milan's not accepting any deals right now. Like as much as like we want to kill our sporting directors over at Chelsea, Milan with Theo Hernandez wouldn't accept a deal 5 million less than what they expected. With Yunus Musa, they didn't accept a deal 5 million less than they expected, and with us it was 8 million. So it wasn't really just like that's kind of like the one thing that I kind of wanted to have a conversation about a little bit later is like Milan. What is Milan doing? Like, bro, like these players that you are pretty much like holding onto, two of them are going to be gone. Two of them are going to be gone, bro. Like on a free in 6 months. Like you're only going to have those players available to you for 6 months, and then they're going to be signing contracts in other places. It's very weird. It's very weird movement from them. Like I just find it odd. Like guys, like you only have Mike and Theo for another year. Like, what are you guys doing? Is it banned? Because I played a clip. I probably have to check that out. Because I played a clip. I don't even know. I didn't see it. I didn't get a notification. I played a clip for like 2 minutes on Jamie Gittins. It's okay. This is not my first source of income in this case, like this is just like, I do this for fun in the end, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of knew that was kind of coming, Ernie. But thanks for letting me know. Oh, there it is. Yeah. It got blocked for copyright. Yep. There it is. All right, there you go. It's editing. It should get fixed now, Ernie. That you should be. You should be able to watch it now. I just got it. I just trimmed it. Yeah, like this is an interesting one, bro. Oh, Sage, I apologize, bro. I was gonna bring you on in just a second. I saw you, bro. My apologies. You were my apologies, Sage. Like if you want to jump back in here, bro, let me know. I'll add you back in here, bro. My apologies. Big up to everybody. Big up to everybody. Let me just show this one. All right, so back to Andy Robinson. From the news that I read, Atletico were only offering $8 million for him. I think Liverpool wants somewhere around 15. Chills, am I saying anything wrong? Please stop me, bro. Like, please stop me if I'm saying anything wrong. Yo, Danish, good to see you, my G. And once again, open link to everybody. You guys are more than welcome to jump in and have your say. This is your opportunity to come on my channel and say your piece. So if you want to jump in, like a lot of you guys I know, so like you guys can jump in if you want. Yeah, so like I see this as one of those moves that eventually happen, especially with Kirkes coming in. I don't know if Liverpool fans would like this, is my opinion. I don't think they would hate it. I just don't think they would like it. I think they would rather see the back of Simicast if it was from my thought process. I just for me that's where my thought is with this. Realistically, like big up my G. Good to see you, Mikes. We haven't been on each other's channel in a long time. It's good to see you, my guy.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. I had to do some like housework with it, but I was like, I'm gonna do it later. It's calm. I could jump on for like 20.
That's what I'm gonna do. Right after this, Mike's, I'm about to start cleaning my house. Like that's literally what I'm about to start doing.
Yeah, I got clean shit and stuff. So it's like I just gotta stay for like half an hour.
Yeah, like you'll be fine though. So yeah, like this is an interesting conversation. This is interesting in my opinion. I think Liverpool fans would rather see the back of Simicast than Robinson. That's just my opinion. Or Robertson. That's my opinion behind it. I think most Liverpool fans would say that. Chills, you probably would say that. I know you're in here. What do you think, Mikes? Like,
I think Joe, it is like as much as Robertson, we've seen like the levels drop off over the past season. If you get like a Kirkes, for example, and have like a Robertson who's more of a senior man, and then maybe sell Simicast, I think that would be the best solution for them. Like it's good to have someone that's like almost like a product of what Robertson was a few years ago, sort of thing. In Kirkes, he kind of reminds me a little bit of him because he's not just someone that can just cross a ball. He's someone that can put his body on the line when defending as well. And
and I think the Spanish league is actually probably a good spot for him too. Like the pace of the league isn't that bad. And and that's the other thing. You probably get some more money for Simicast. Like I bet you you could scam fucking Forrest and that fucking Greek owner for a Greek player. Like
definitely
that. I you know what I'm saying? Like
definitely, they need a left back as well. They need
a left back too. I think they were linked, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think this is coming from like the back of my head from like craziness. I actually think
they might have been.
that Forrest was linked to Simicast. Chills, I'm pretty sure you can confirm that for me. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he was. It would be like that owner to spend the most amount of money on a Greek player. I'm surprised he didn't go for the Brighton guy, the guy that Brighton just scooped up.
Yeah.
Because he's good, bro. Like the kid, we're gonna see him. The problem with Brighton is you don't never know if you're gonna actually see these guys. Like that's kind of the problem with Brighton. Like it's like I had the highest hopes for Matt O'Reilly. I watched him at Celtic play a preseason game against us, and then I was like, yo, this guy is nice, bro.
Yeah, I remember watching the Old Firm derby, and I was like, I want this guy at West Ham, and we were linked to
bro, he would be a great fit for you even now. Like, you could probably scoop him on the low, like, just because he's in the fringes of where the squad is. But yeah, like, I just think it's a great move. Like, I would think it would be a great move for your team. I mean, really, honestly, any team that gives Matt O'Reilly an opportunity that's like around mid-table is going to get a really good player, like
Yeah,
a
definitely.
really, really good player.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on the kid. He's really good, though. He's really, really good. I think Ben Jacobs JK has squashed that already. So you can go look up Ben Jacobs' tweet on Michael Edwards. He squashed that shit. You remember seeing some Simicast links? Okay. To Leeds.
Big
All right.
move.
Matthias Tell.
Mm.
Matthias Tell, 35 plus 10. The deal, that's not a bad deal in the end. The upfront loan fee is, was staggering when you first looked at it. But it with the obligation at the end, it doesn't look as bad. I mean, you were going to end up spending around 50 million euros regardless on this player. Like, that's about the going price for a winger that is, up and coming per se, coming from a bigger club. That's about the price. Like, that's about the price. Hey, Bayern, that's what we want for Nkunku, by the way. Right there. That money you just got from Tottenham, that's what we want for Nkunku. Right there, about 40 million.
I can see that
40 million
accelerating.
at us. I'm sure we'd accept it.
I can see
But
that
hey,
happening next week just because of that.
he did not play well. Let's just put it that way. The few times that I watched Spurs and I watched Tell play, he did not play well.
Bro, when I watched West Ham Tottenham, they were playing their second team, obviously, against us because of the Europa League. And he was genuinely one of the worst players I've watched live in terms of against us. The only thing is that he's a Thomas Frank type winger. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people didn't rate Kevin Schade before this season, and he got a big tune out of him.
I didn't rate Kevin Schade in Bundesliga. I watched Bundesliga. I didn't even rate Kevin Schade, bro. But you're right. It is the type of winger that Frank really likes. He's a big physical winger who likes to cut inside. This is the type of winger that Frank enjoys to use.
Definitely.
He can stretch the pitch. The talent's there. I've seen it. Okay, that. Let me get this out of the way. The talent's there. I've seen it. But he was just awful. He was just awful for that. Okay, let's put it as it is. He was just fucking awful. But yeah, I do think this. Now let's just have a quick Tottenham conversation right now, just because we're here, right? What do you think of? What do you think of that lineup if they beat Man U to Embuemo?
Oh my days! Sure, it's such a big upgrade on what they have, and the one thing I was saying about Ange and Tottenham last season is you're playing attacking football, but you've got some of the worst group of attackers possible. They don't connect with each other. These are attackers that run into space rather than keeping the actual ball in itself. So now that Thomas Frank is there, he knows how to adjust to the players he has. And having Brian Mbeumo, who's better at all the strips that the Tottenham wingers have already got at that current moment in time. Everything that you think the Tottenham wingers are good at now, Mbeumo is better than them at that. So that's just that's already a great signing. And I think, as I tweeted this, everyone predicted that would happen. As soon as Frank went to Tottenham, you saw the Tottenham's Mbeumo deal.
You saw the writing on the wall.
Thomas Frank's not going to be
because Manchester United put 2 bids in and neither have gotten accepted. You see the writing on the wall that Spurs will spend big. Don't get it twisted. Okay?
Yeah.
That's one thing you can't get twisted. Is Tottenham's financial power. People laugh at them because they do the whole F1 in the stadium and all that other good jazz and all the concerts, but in the end, financially they good.
Yeah, they are.
As much as we want to try to troll them, financially they good. They can put money down for both these players. They could be 110 million for Wisa and Mbeumo. What you saying?
Yeah, that's true, And that's the thing.
What you saying? We'll put 110 down for Wisa and Mbeumo. What you gonna say to us?
Yeah, they can't say shit, bro. That's the thing. Wisa's gonna want to leave.
Say no.
Yeah, Wisa's gonna want to leave.
Not gonna say no, bro.
Yep.
And that's where Manchester United don't have the spending power of Tottenham. That's just a fact at this current moment. As much as I think that Manchester United is not a broke institution, right? I don't actually believe that, right?
Mm.
But the spending power that Tottenham have at this current moment cannot be slept on. Like when it comes to Manchester United, like
Yeah.
Manchester United probably has another £60 million buy, and then they would have to sell after that. They probably have around another 60 they can spend, but they would have to sell after that.
They're gonna have so many loans this summer as well. I can just picture Man United doing so many loans.
Manchester United's not going to be able to get anybody off the books. Anybody.
Nobody wants to play.
Rashford, like Anthony and Garnacho. Nobody's going to spend the money they want. Nobody. Unless you loan with options is going to be like really what they're going to be seeing.
Yeah.
Because
cheeky
these players are such, like, and Anthony, like, to me, Anthony should be the one that they actually should be able to get money from, and that won't do anything but make them break even. Like,
yeah, it's true.
You understand? Like, there's so like I think Manchester United fan who's sitting here and discounting what Tottenham could potentially do, like they have all the like. You just have the name Manchester United. That's it. That's all you have. The institution name Manchester United. They got European football. They got the money, and they have the coach. Like, what do you stand other than the institution? That's it.
Yep, because players want to come to Manchester United, but can you even afford to even buy them? No, you can't. You can't cough up the money.
You can't outbid Spurs. That's my point. No. You're not going to outbid Spurs. And to me, if you're telling me that these two guys, fucking Mbeumo and, well, let's just speak with Mbeumo because there's no Visa links to anybody else, right?
No.
If you're just, he could stay in London. You don't even got to move yard.
No, you don't. You don't have to move at all.
You don't even have to move yard, bro.
You don't.
Like,
bro.
what is like? That is huge. That's huge. That's huge, bro. That's huge.
Yep.
But here's the thing, JK. That's just breaking even. Still, like the players they need to sell are either Rashford, Garnacho, or Mainu. None of them are being sold this window. Maybe loans, but none of them are being sold. If they get a sale, they're going to get a cut rate price on Garnacho. That's what's realistically going to happen. Because they're trying to get 70 for him.
Sure.
So, like, I don't know. I don't really know where else this is going for them, to be honest. By the way, I want to speak about something. This is one of the most underrated scouting clubs in football.
Facts.
Like, if people don't recognize what Brentford is doing scouting wise yet, like, you're gonna end up being hurt because they find gems consistently. Like, consistently.
Yeah.
And that Coyote guy that they got from Fiorentina, come on, bro.
FM King.
Like, it's not even that much of a gem. FM King, thank you. FM King. Yeah. But, bro, as much as he's an FM King, he won Young Player of the Year last year in Italy.
Yeah, I was surprised nobody got him. I was surprised nobody got him.
How does the Premier League clubs let Young Player of the Year right back, wing back? So I'm speaking specifically to Manchester United here. How do you let the Young Player of the year at wing back last year, okay, go to Brentford for 20 million when you need a rebuild? To be honest with you, I don't know how your team didn't do it either. I'm being serious, Mike.
I know why my team didn't do it.
Outside of Wan-Bissaka, but like you could use another right back who falls.
I know. Like I know why my club don't do it. Their recruitment is so underrated, bro. And like people rave about Brighton, but they're doing just as good of a job.
They're right around the same. They're in the table with Brighton, right around in the middle of like they're in the mix with Brighton. Like this is people love to say Brighton, but Brentford, bro, with the tiny stadium and all the bro, the lack of like it. Brighton, I'm thinking nearly 30,000, right? It's like a nearly 30,000. They got 18 in that bitch.
Yeah, it's like 5 people.
Yeah, like for what they're doing, bro, keeping themselves sustainable with a stadium that's half the size of the country stadium is remarkable. It's actually remarkable. Like I don't think people understand how good of a job these people are doing. Like, I really don't.
One that really pissed me off that Brentford got was Keane Lewis Potter. I was raving about Keane Lewis Potter for a minimum of 2 years.
He was a midfielder, right? Before he got moved to
he was a winger. Yeah, he was a winger. He was a winger, yeah. He was a left winger. Yeah, and the only reason why he plays at left back is because Rico Henry's been injured for 2 years, and Aaron Hickey got an injury after that. So he's basically what?
Dude, another great
Hickey as well. Aaron Hickey as well. Bro, like, do you know what it is as well with them, yeah? Christopher Ayer.
You know who I wouldn't be surprised if he got? Lewis Ferguson. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up with Lewis Ferguson. It would be the most Brentford signing ever for them to get Lewis Ferguson from Bologna. Look, Scottish, like they just do. If you're Scottish, Irish, fucking Danish, or anywhere from those Norwegian countries, you're our kind of guy.
Yep.
And they scout.
Their links to Michelin as well. Their links to Michelin helps this as well. The FC Michelin, like that. They always go for the Scandi talents. Always. Like I'm pretty sure they were in for Ibrahim or Osman before Brighton and West Ham were interested as well. So like they're always looking at them academies.
What's the other guy they got? Osman and I use him in fucking Sima, Abdul Sima. Both of them are from Michelin.
Yeah, and he went on to Stoke. Like, Brentford always find the talent ahead of the talent. Like, Christopher Ayer, he's not like the youngest player or anything, but he was a player at Celtic that was balling for time. And it's a player that a lot of teams could have done with. Because he can play midfield, centre-back, right-back.
I got a question.
Yeah?
Not kind of switching off subject. I'm going to look. I got ITK hit me up about this. But where's Romero going?
He was most linked to Atleti, from what I heard, but I haven't seen any other team linked with him. So I just saw Atleti.
Yeah, but Atleti looks like they're about to buy Piero.
Oh, I don't know then.
Let me find it up. Let me find the
Maybe he just doesn't leave. Maybe he doesn't leave.
I don't know, bro. It didn't seem like he was happy.
He ain't got a choice. He ain't got a choice whether he's happy or not.
If I was Chelsea, I'd put a bid in.
You take Romero.
That's a perfect center back for us.
You reckon Romero would be like a level raiser?
I think so.
I just think he's too much.
I think the leadership in itself would be good.
Yeah, I think he's a player for me where it's like on his day. He's an on his day type centre back for me where I'm like, I can't completely rely on you.
I think that when you put a solid midfield in front of him, as you can see when he's at Argentina, he's a good defender, bro. He's a good defender.
Yeah, that's fair.
And when you don't ask, I think the other thing is like in Ange's system, you're putting a lot of space in between you and you're putting a lot of space that you have to defend behind you. And this is not really a guy that you're really supposed to be doing that with. But
he was also similar under Conte though as well. Like in the amount of times he was making mistakes under Conte as well.
Yeah, no, I hear it. I hear it. To me, I think that would be with Enzo, the way that Enzo Maresco likes to play, he could be like a center back in our system, where he has more of like the cover of Reese and somebody else next to him, like a Levi, in that sense. So it's not necessarily his aggressiveness could be kind of covered in that manner.
Yeah.
I think, Yasir, jump on, bro. Jump on.
Okay, yes.
Links in the chat. They're pinned in the chat. Come jump on. But yeah, bro. I don't know. This is a thing, right? Like, I think it would just raise the standard of our football club and of our back line just a little bit. Like, this is a winner now. Like, this isn't just like a Spurs player. This is a World Cup winner. You know, like,
yeah, he's not just a young player either. He's 26,
Yeah.
27 now. Where it's
Yeah,
like you
and
could
he's
get
like-
a lot of years out of him as a centre back.
I just think it adds the quality of our foot. It's just you have to. The problem is you have to look past the Spurs part, right?
Yeah.
You have to look past the Spurs part, like you really do. Like if he wasn't at Spurs, bro, what would he look like, right? Like let's say we put Romero at Inter Milan.
Yeah, you're right. The perception would be different.
We would all look at him like we should be trying to go get that player.
Yeah.
Like just with the types of things that you would want from a player. And I don't think he would cost that much. That's the thing. Like I think you could get him for the same price as Gahey.
Probably. You probably can. Okay, he might be more expensive, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's serious, right? Like,
yeah,
like that's serious. I mean, and some Chelsea fans won't, and that's the thing.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And Ishi, my G, I don't blame you. I'm not going to sit here and blame you, but he is an available center back at this current moment. That's the way I see it, because I could go a little bit deeper into the Atletico universe. Just give me 1 second. If I go a bit deeper, I saw it earlier. Ew, Conor Gallagher. Yeah, see, this is done. Where is it?
Robertson.
I saw it earlier. Very close. Yeah, I mean, you don't think Piero would probably love to live in Madrid, not even in the front. Going from Germany to Madrid would be, I don't know. I can't find it. But
like
yeah,
South Americans would like to go to Spain anyway.
To me, no, I hear it, bro. But think about it this way, Ishi. He would be our prick now. You see what
exactly.
That's the way
That's
the thing you have to. He would be our prick now. That's the thing. Like that's and we're missing, bro. You don't understand how the bereftness of I'm just gonna say it in this way, of the dogs that we have in our football club. Like the bereftness of the dogs that we have. Adding Liam and Mike, I'm gonna piss you off with the way that I'm gonna speak right now. Okay, so just like bear with me, because like I know that some of the players that I'm gonna speak about right now are the same players that you guys want and you guys probably might get. Okay, so I'm just gonna be honest. Yeah. But if it was Liam Delap, Duran, Kudus, and Romero, the level of dog and shithousery and prickness that we would have in this football team elevated by 5 to 10 levels. Like we turned from like, maybe a team you could push around to a team you ain't fucking pushing around no more. Like, definitely not. Like not with Kudus, Delap. Minus you could scrap Duran. Kudus, Delap, Romero, and Caicedo. The level of dogs that you put in that you put in the pricks that you have in that football team now with Cucurella and Caicedo, the level of pricks that we have in this football team is like, it feeds my heart. It feeds my heart, bro. You know what I'm saying? It feeds my heart. And what am I deluded about, Cunha? What am I? Okay, what does that have? See, keep doubting this kid. I want you to keep doubting this kid, bro. Keep doubting this kid. Keep doubting this kid, Cunha. Keep doubting this kid. That's all I gotta say. Keep doubting Delap. Keep doubting him. Okay? You'll be back on this channel. And you'll be back on this channel in a couple months when the Premier League starts talking about, goddamn, what the fuck is Delap doing? Yep, that's natural meaning, exactly. Keep doubting this kid.
Oh my days! Naturally, he rebranded, bro. If I hear it.
Yeah, he rebranded. He rebranded, bro. He rebranded. All right. So yesterday, Mike's Matt Law came out with some information.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically on a couple players that you would want.
Mm-hmm.
Sage, for some reason you're not connected, Mike G. Jump back in and jump back out. I don't know why, but you're not connecting correctly. I'm trying to have you jump back in. Oh, I don't know why Mike's just left, but oh man, I don't know where Mike's was. I was just about to ask Mike's this question. Oh, it wasn't you, Mike. So I was talking about Sage.
Oh.
So there's another person jumping in. There he is. All right. So Mike's yesterday there was a Matt Law came out and said that you were interested in two of our players, KDH and Petrovic. First thing is what do you think about these players? Like as additions to your football club, like what do you think about these players?
From what I've seen of Petrovic, I didn't really get to watch him at Strasbourg because I don't really get time to watch other leagues and stuff. But like from what I saw of him at Chelsea, I do like the player. I do think it'll be a significant upgrade on what we have in the goalkeeper route. But the problem is with our club is that we're trying to do the whole loan to buy deal when it comes to goalkeepers, which is ridiculous in itself. But David Sullivan's back as director of football, so we're trying to get everyone on the cheap again. And with Keenan Dewsbury Hall.
Oh yeah, because you guys got rid of your director of football. That's right.
Yeah, because I was fucking stupid. But Keenan Dewsbury Hall, I'm not like completely like against it, but I'm not completely a fan. It's just with the state of our midfield right now, I need an upgrade on what we have, and I feel
think
like
he would help the progression from first phase big time.
I definitely, don't get me wrong, he would but like compared to what we have right now, it's not saying much. Like with Ward-Prowse and Alvarez and stuff, like these don't progress.
Well, Alvarez is not a first phase player. That's why Mexico plays him as a center back.
I know, but like
you can't have the problem with Alvarez is this, right? Is like he has like good tools as like a defensive player, like the height and his aggressiveness and things of that nature. But like on the half turn, he's terrible. So you can't play him in midfield in this league. Like he technically like his best bet is playing like in a 3, like he does in Mexico. Like that's his best bet.
And like with this how bad our midfielders right now. I said Dewsbury Hall would be a decent signing for anyone that would.
Any other signings that you could think of, like off the top of your head, that might be a good fit?
What in midfield, like just in general? Or?
Yeah, some midfielder options that you'd like.
I'm not too sure. I'd say Hayden Hackney.
I was going to say Hayden Hackney. Yeah,
Hayden Hackney. I've been saying we should sign it for about 2 years now. I'm always ahead of the company.
I saw that you were linked with Chris Riggs.
Yeah. The Chris Riggs would be a good player, but again, he wouldn't be ready to start. And the problem is we need so many new players, and we're probably not going to sign any of them. We're not advanced talks of anyone, so I don't see anything happening anytime soon unless it's a swap deal for the Kudus situation and stuff.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So young Thakori, excuse me if I mispronounced that. Yo, big up Joey, bro. The way Kudus was offered to United, Arsenal, and Chelsea, I'm looking at this deal sideways at the moment.
So
tell me what your thoughts are on that. I mean, I just think you're probably just trying to get the best deal for Kudus by doing that. But in the end, like the most of like the area, like either United or us would be probably the best places for him. I would even say probably United's even a better fit just based off of system.
System based, yeah, definitely.
But I just think that this is for us, like this is a type of move that we would do swap wise. Like, especially with, I think the writing's on the wall too. Like,
Definitely.
like for Kudus specifically, we were in for Kudus before you guys got him, but we ended up with
Yeah, I
Palmer,
remember.
right?
Yeah.
So that was first. It wasn't like this isn't a new link to us, right? Like this is something that we were in for before we got Palmer. Now that West Ham's willing to sell, I think 70 million, and you guys buy, Petrovic and KDH from us. Yeah, that's fine, Sage. You're good. Just don't be crazy. You're good, bro. But yeah, like I think with Petrovic and Sanchez, or Petrovic and not Sanchez, because I don't think you're gonna get Sanchez from us, but Petrovic and KDH, that deal looks very realistic from both sides, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the only way I can see us signing someone right now is via swap deal, because it makes sense.
Why,
like
though?
the whole
Why
thing
do you
with
say
Kudus,
that?
because David Sullivan, back a director of football, he likes to run deals via agents instead of actually going and scouting players. It's always in-house. It's always in the Premier League, and it's just always Premier League proven players. Even though we're going to scout in other places, this is all briefing. This is all pointless, because you know what David Sullivan's like. He'll go and do it into the last minute, and there'll be someone in the Premier League that's failed at another club before. That's the kind of deal we usually
like
make.
Emerson, but he's getting rid of Emerson. Wasn't he Emerson his signing?
Emerson was a Rob Newman signing.
Okay.
We had Rob Newman working with David Moyes at the time.
Bro, I can't keep up with your football clubs.
Bro, neither can I at this point. Like, and that's the thing. Emerson's one of our better players as well. So it's fucking.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was pretty surprised. Like,
but he's on a year left. So it's like we're sell now and lose him on a free sort of thing. That's what they're thinking. But I would rather lose him on a free and sell a lot more of our players.
Yeah,
and do it that way. I would rather.
It just didn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you get rid of Emerson? It felt like he was one of the players that actually performed with your football club. Like, that's one of the players that actually performed.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I actually agree with Cunha here. I mean, this was probably one of your best signings that you've had in years.
Yeah, it's one of our best Premier League signings.
I mean, that's one of the Premier League signings I actually worked out, I would say. But yeah, like, I don't get it, Mike's. Like, there's names like Arden Jashari. Like, I would say, like, you guys should be all the way in for him. That's a Graham Potter type of signing. Like that type of midfielder is extremely needed in your football club. Like, and to me, this is like, there's just too many. There's too many, like, just oddities to the way that you're moving right now, and like, I don't see any, like, anything stable kind of moving in your direction. And I feel like, to even as much as, like, I disliked Potter at my football club, I do feel like you could get some stability under him if you had the correct type of scouting going on. Like, and shit, bro, if you had Hayden Hackney, that would be, in my opinion, a fantastic signing for your football club. That's once again the type of midfielders that we're talking about that thrive under Potter are these kind of, like, I think KDH will thrive under Potter. Believe me, I do.
I think he's a good player, but it's just like, I'm just tired, bro. Like, do you know the problem is with, like, signings like Hayden Hackney? I know we're going to miss out on him, because the past 2 years, ever since we actually signed like a Jared Bowen from Hull City, we have continuously missed out on championship gems. We missed out on Eze at the time and got Ben Rama instead. We missed out on Philishine and Jack Clark and Jacob Greaves. We missed out on so many championship signings over the past 2 years where they've been easy to make as well. And we've been linked with Elias.
Why not try to go back for some of these players that are going back down?
We should. That would be the smart thing to do. But West Ham don't do that. Instead, we're linked to fucking.
I'd be rating Burnley. I'd be rating fucking Leeds. Like, every year, these teams that are going down, I'm rating them if I'm West Ham. I'm taking their best player every year, bro. That's what I'm doing if I'm West Ham. Every year, I'm taking their best player. The best player that's being relegated, I'm taking it.
Even as West Ham raid the teams that got promoted, I don't care. I don't care if they just got promoted.
Yeah, even those. I'm taking your best players from promotion, relegation. Those guys are getting rated, bro, if I'm West Ham. Like,
Bro,
I don't know.
Trey Hume.
Maybe we play too much FM, bro. Like, this is just like normal feelings of
Yeah,
FM.
maybe.
Like we
Maybe.
just like this is how we move in FM. Like who
Yeah.
got relegated last year? Oh, I know who I can take from them. Like that's that's how we move as direct. How we would move as directors at a mid-table club. Like,
Yeah. The only difference is, you're the one negotiating the deals and that.
Yeah, that's facts.
You can't do that for your club.
And that's the thing, yeah. Like Sunderland got promoted, yeah. If people don't know already, Trey Hume at right back, yeah, he's the next one that people are going to start talking about. He should be at West Ham now. If he was competition with Wan-Bissaka, that would be a smart move. He can. He's got the no nonsense in him, but he can go forward and put a cross in. It's nice to balance the fullback.
I find it funny that you weren't in for Gyökeres when he was at Coventry. I find that
we were
really
linked
odd.
every year, Joey. We were linked every year. It pissed me off.
I find that really odd. I felt like that's like a really West Ham signing. Like it's a very West Ham signing, bro.
Never went in for him, but we're linked every single year by ex-West Ham employee. Like, we're always interested in these championship players, but never signed them. Signed 2 players per transfer window under Moyes.
That's it. You have no idea. Like, this is exactly how I would move in FM. Like, you should see my Genoa save right now. My Genoa save is hilarious. Hilarious.
I've never really played football.
One day, me and Mike will do a live FM thing when we have the time to do it. Like,
definitely,
we'll do a live FM thing. We'll go.
Didn't Mike? You already started one.
Proper competition in FM, bro. I actually do proper competition. I mean, everybody who says they're good at FM gets washed by me. Like washed. Like I played a few guys from England over the last last year, or it was either last year or 2 years ago. And no, I have it on the channel. And I played 1-on-1 with one of his teams. He like made a Tottenham save that was about 8 years deep, and I had a Montpellier save that was like 4 years deep, and I busted his ass, bro. I busted his ass, and majority of my players were League 2 players, like players from League 2, like from the French Division 2.
It's 5-0 Champions League final.
Star Slayer, my G.
Yo,
good
big
to
up,
see you, man.
Big up, Penwell. Big up.
Big up.
So yeah, I would love to. I would love to. We could definitely do a FM tournament. If you guys have like specific teams that you guys have saves for, that you guys would like to do FM, like do an FM tournament for, I would do that. I would be more than happy to do that.
I'd be more than happy to
I'm telling you though, I'm warning people, bro. I'm warning people. Like I'm not losing this tournament.
That's fair. Joey, I'm not someone who's
losing this tournament. And I'm not gonna use you guys can use whatever fucking team you guys want. I'm using my mid-table to bottom table clubs that I built. Like that's what I'm gonna be using. So like Cuomo is a really good save. And Mike, did you try the update that I gave you, that I sent you?
I haven't tried it yet.
It is great. It's great. I that my Genoa save has the update. It's fun, bro, because now I can really think and not have to like think 2 years ago back. Like I'm thinking like what's current to me.
I've got all the transfers updated, but that's it. Like
I'll send it to you later, Morning Zombie. I'll send it to you later.
Yeah, because I'm already doing it like a save with Fulham right now, so I haven't done a new one.
No, I just finished up. I normally go about 8 years deep, and then I stop. Like that's about normally when I stop.
I usually just stop when I've won it all. I just stop when I've won it all. Like
8 years deep, and then he does a club. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired.
No, 8 years deep. Most of the time, I've won it all by 8 years, bro. What are we talking about? Most of the time, I've won everything by 8 years. Well, yo, big up, guys. Big up, SK. SK, what? Are you a Chelsea fan?
Yeah. I got the. Oh my bad. I thought I had the jersey in the background, but yeah.
No, you do, but your background's blurred. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
I see it now.
Yeah.
You know, but big up. Nice of you to join us, man. Nice of you to join us.
Thanks for having me. Bro. Appreciate it.
So kind of back to subject here. Mike's with Kudus, we both see this as something that is going to end up happening by the end of the window, probably. But what Yasir, SK, Star Slayer, I'm going to start with Yasir. What do you guys think? Like, what do you guys think of? I already broke my rules, but what do you guys think of Kudus as an addition as a winger?
I like it. I mean, I like that. I've always liked the player. I've always watched. I watched him when he was at Ajax at the time, and obviously from there, obviously made the move to West Ham, which I thought was actually a good move because you can just develop at the time. Because our issue was always that there's a lot of players that left the Dutch league and went straight to one of the top 4 teams. I can give you an example in Memphis Depay. At the time when he was younger, he shouldn't have went straight to United. He could have stayed a year or more, or even went to a team to develop and then go to one of the top 4 teams. So seeing him go to West Ham and obviously playing over time, obviously he done well until this season, you know what I'm saying? And then Mikes don't like him anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking. But it's just, you get me? Everyone thinks, because I get where Mike's comes from, innit? Because he watches him every week. He'll see the things that he does well and what he doesn't, innit? Whereas we only see, sometimes if we're not watching West Ham, we only see the highlights, or we only see when he's put a good cross in or scores a goal or whatever. But I do think that he can be a good addition to our team, especially with the way he carries the ball. He's a very good ball carrier. And he's one of those players that sometimes can do something out of nothing, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So I think that we do need that sometimes, because sometimes when you watch us, the only player that can really do that is Palmer.
Yeah.
Because we don't really get that off the wings. So if we can get a player that does something out of nothing, which is sometimes what you need when the game just kind of dies off, you need someone to just do something. And I think he could be a good addition. I just hope that we get the Kudus that we think he is, and not the one Max telling us about. You know,
Can I ask a quick question? Yeah. Everyone always says, he is a good ball carrier, yeah. But what do you guys think happens after the ball carrier? Like, I'm generally curious. What do you generally think happens after the ball carrier?
I get where he's going.
I hear where you're going with it, but I also think there's a heroism factor with him.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time, whereas like when you're playing in a club like where there's a big load on your shoulders, where I don't think the load that he would have with us is going to be much different, right? Like that's kind of where my mind is at. Like I don't expect even the Kudus that you got mites in the first season, right? Like that's my opinion. I don't even expect that, right? But I do expect a higher level of penetration into the box, which we just lack in general. Like that's what we're looking at with Gittins. That's what we're looking at with Kudus. That's what we're looking at with Morgan Rogers and even Garnacho. As much as I hate the player, like it's the aspect of being able to get into the box on their own, and just Nani Madueke and Neto, they just lack that cutting edge to get into the box on their own, like that dribbling style to get into the box on their own. Neto wants to get to the byline and cross, like that's what he actually wants to do.
Yeah.
Nani wants to cut inside from the top of the box most of the time. He doesn't want to get into the box. He wants to get at the top. You even see his shooting drills recently. If you actually look at
I was gonna say that. Even his training from last season, Joey, he does that thing where he cuts in and shoots
at the top of the box. Like for me, these are like the players that we're looking at this current moment are meant for beat your man one-on-one and quick moments. And even if the decision is rash, bro, like Gittins, Garnacho, Kudus, and I'm even gonna put Morgan Rogers in there. Like his decision making isn't as grand as people make it out to be. Like I think he's a really good player, but I also think there's still some rawness to his decision making. Like these are guys, in my opinion, that are all going to be, they're chaos creators is the best way that I like to describe it. They're chaos creators, and we just don't have enough of them, right? We just don't have enough of them. Delap, a chaos creator in the box. Like just his physicality in itself. And mind you, Mike, remember what I said earlier about the dog part, right?
Yeah.
The physical
I
part.
know.
Okay.
I know.
So now it's like if you put all of it together, it makes much more sense, right? But if you're talking about like qualities on the ball that he lacks, yeah, decision making is a problem. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know it and I know it, right? But that's majority of the players that we're looking at this current moment. And that's what we're expecting Maresca to be able to fine tune. Like coaching, that you can coach decisions out of players and reduce the decisions they have to make by the system that they're playing in. And that's really what we're talking about here.
I just think there's so many like flaws to his game where he's not going to be able to thrive in the specific system that you guys are playing. And the reason why I say this is because, for example, two things: if he's on the right and he's focused on cutting in or going around the outside, yeah, a lot of time when he's going around the outside, this guy is falling over before he's crossed it into the box. But if he's going on the inside, he's shown it too much backwards before he's about to shoot. Like, you know, when a lot of wingers, when they go past and they cut in, their body's already directed towards the goal. It's like he's about to take a free kick as soon as he's about to cut it in and just do a big run up. And then the defender's already gone behind him.
Mike, you also got to think about it, right? With you, you had a lack of a centerpiece to be able to get for him to get the ball to for most of the season, right? Like you didn't have anything in the middle of the box for him to get the ball to. Pretty much outside of Bowen getting inside. If he's on the right, Bowen's probably not playing. Like if he's on the right, Bowen's probably not playing, or Bowen's playing up top. So like you don't really have like an option for him. You know what I mean? That's where I go with the heroism. It's like he has this, and by all means you have a point. Okay, he's not necessarily a touchline winger. That's really where you're going with it, right? Like that's what you're saying here is he's not a touchline winger. Right, but once again, I really have a lot of faith in Maresca. To me, I have a lot of faith in him. I've watched his game. I watched our games 2 to 3 different times at this point. Like we're talking about, I've watched these games at these 90 minutes total, like close to 90 different times within all the games. I really have a lot of faith in his ability to get more out of the wingers that he has. Like I didn't think that Madvididi was going to be any good at Leicester. Yeah, I watched him at Montpellier for 2.5, 3 years. I didn't think he was going to be any good at Leicester. I was hyped when we got some bread for him, but in the end, he cooked. Yeah. So like once again, you have a point. But let me get to SK and Star Slayer real quick.
I'll go anyway, George, but thank you for having me on. Like I'll go and clean up the house. But
all right, big up, bro. Thanks for coming on. Oh, we almost had an hour already too. SK, my G.
Yo.
Nice for you to come on.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. What do you think of Kudus? What's your thoughts on Kudus?
Now, Kudus gives me like you brought it up earlier because I was going to talk about it. He gives me good play on a bad NBA team vibes. If that makes sense. So I guess I don't say concern. The question that I would have for him is how well is this game going to scale to like a higher, like a better team, right? Because when you're in a better team, you're obviously not going to be as heliocentric in terms of like how your team approaches it, because like you're in theory you have more weapons to like hurt other teams with, right? So, and obviously those are skills that he hasn't really had to develop at West Ham, and I haven't really watched much at Ajax, so I don't really know like in terms of like I know he's like a good presser, but like in terms of stuff like like off ball movement, like making like dummy runs or like being like a deep, so like that kind of like that, like all those like more like nuanced little detail stuff, like I guess that it would be more so what I would be wondering what he'd be able to do in that sense, right? Like because I've seen him on the ball, like we already know he's a good dribbler. Now you're good. But yeah, we already know he's a good dribbler. Like his shooting can be a bit erratic at times, but then also it's like how many of those things is because like outside of Bowen, West Ham don't really have a lot of like offensive threats to take attention away from him versus versus how much is that is just like his own ability just not being up to snuff. So yeah, there's a lot of questions. Like I like the transfer. I think I would say anything north of like actually this transfer market's weird as hell, bro. So I don't even have a number to give you, but if the money's right,
70 is probably what we would pay for him.
All right, so
that's the number that you're probably going to be looking at. It's about 74.
Okay, like yeah, this still sounds a bit high. I'm not gonna lie, but if the
probably it's going to be somewhere around what Man U paid for Cunha. Like that's about what I expected.
Okay, so like
something around that number. What I probably would say, unfortunately, the Emblemo number will probably impact what we pay for Kudus. Like it'll probably be somewhere around the Emblemo, what Emblemo gets paid for and what Kudus gets paid for. It's that number will be, somewhere around 70-ish million in the end. Because I think Man U paid about 60 with add-ons, and then I think Tottenham will end up paying about 70 to 75 for Kudus or for Emblemo. So for a Premier League winger who scored 20 goals, that's about the going price, like from my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yasir, would you say that's probably about right?
Sorry, what were you talking about? The price again? Was it
the price for Kudus?
Roughly around 65?
Yeah, 65 to 70 is what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it's gonna be. I think also for him being a player that's already in the Premier League, I think they'll be more willing to spend that kind of money. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe you know what I'm saying. Maybe we'll pull up and say 45 and then see what.
That sounds like
negotiations, so we don't get robbed. But yeah, I think it's going to be around that price. You know us anyway, Joey, man. We'll try to throw a player in, whether it's Sanchez, KDH, or whatever it is, whoever they are.
KDH and Petrovic are the two names.
Yeah.
Brought up yesterday. If you guys watched Matt Law's thing from yesterday, there's a big indicator that this may end up happening, like a big indicator.
Well, do you think Nani will go or someone?
I just the way that he spoke about KDH to West Ham, bro, like that's what was the indicator for me. And then when they went to wingers, he used Kudus at the last, because the way that he brought up KDH to West Ham, it was like he didn't want that information to get out. Yeah, it's very interesting actually listening to him.
Yeah.
Rather than reading from what Heiss says, if you listen to like the inflections in his voice, you can actually hear that he did not want to bring up KDH to West Ham. So
it is. Same with Fabrizio.
Very interesting in that matter.
It's the same kind of with Fabrizio as well, because I watched, when the Manyan deal fell through, he went live like straight after.
Yeah.
And if you watch that, he explained and he told us that the 80 million bid it's something that he found that it wasn't true, it didn't happen. But then he also was like, I'm not ruling out the fact that we might end up we still going in for him, but it's done for the Club World Cup, whatever, which he probably didn't put in the tweet, if I remember correctly, which is a lot of the times where people were like, we're not going back in for him again or whatever. But sometimes listening is a bit, you can hear the voice, the body language, that kind of thing, and you kind of can tell with these journalists, so-called journalists, when they're lying or not, innit? Or they're withholding information that
they're withholding information, or they don't want to say something that they actually said.
Yes,
and
yes.
They very quickly change the subject most of the time. Star
or
Slayer.
They try to speak about something else. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Star Slayer.
Yeah.
My G.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think about Kudus. And thank you for coming on, bro.
Oh no, thank you for having me. But bring immediately, because I like quality. So we should have quality, even if he's not starting or anything. Which I feel like we could fit him into the starting lineup, but just bring, because I'm from Ghana, so like I watch him definitely.
It's a biasness.
Oh, okay.
You know them ones. We get
It's a different feeling
I'm
for
joking,
you.
I'm
You're
joking.
like, yes, bring my brethren in.
Bro, like
Yeah.
we need another one, bro. We need another one. Like
That's awesome.
But I feel like the point you were making about him kind of playing hero ball at West Ham because of the lack of quality, I feel like it's not going to be a problem here, because you can't do that when you're playing with players like Palmer and even a Delap, because I've started to be like, like I'm just gonna see what this guy does. Delap, I'm saying. So we're gonna see what he does. But
Yeah.
Kudus definitely bring. This guy's it's like a playoff riser.
Yo, we got our own expressions, in our fan base now. You know what I mean? Big up Star Slayer. You know? Big up to you, bro. No, but you're right. You're right. I feel like sometimes as well, yeah, some players they have to either rise their level or they do that whole thing where, what do they call it? A big fish in a small pond or stuff like that. So the player has to take all that responsibility sometimes to do something which he may not have to do at West Ham. Now, sometimes some players excel doing that. So sometimes you see a big player go and be that main star player, or you've seen it a little bit with like a Grealish at Villa, where him being the main man suits him more than just being part of the team. Now, that's probably, I think, the only challenge you might have when he comes in. He has to kind of adjust to just being part of the team and just playing his role. And I think if he does that, it'll go really well. But that's just a bit that I'm looking at. But I know as in quality, you can't argue the quality. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, just that up here works, because we had a lot of players with quality, but sometimes there's nothing up here in it. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
What's your thoughts if Kudus comes in, Nani leaves? Is that something you guys are okay with?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with it.
SK?
I mean, I'd rather Neto leave, but it is what it is. Like,
No, bro.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I feel like Neto, like
Can you tell me why?
yeah.
I feel like my issue with Neto is, and who knows, maybe with the lot being there, like half of his actual strong suit, it will be better. Is like Neto, even he spoke on it himself. Like I feel like he's very much like, we need to play in like transition if you're gonna get the best out of me, like 7-8 times out of 10. And it just gets to a point where it's like, when you play for a top 4 team, like, bro, like transition opportunities are going to come very scarce, like, because most teams are not going to give you that type of space. So you, as a winger for a team as big as Chelsea, you need to have more like skills in between the lines to compensate for that. And he hasn't really, so far anyway. Who knows? Maybe next year he'll be different, but he hasn't shown me that ability to do that. I mean, to be fair to him, I think Loki, he's been better when he's played center forward than as a winger. And two, obviously, when it comes to like Jackson and the whole issue with like the movement in the box thing, that's gonna affect Neto more, because like at least like a third of his game is putting in crosses. So when no one's really attacking those crosses, that's essentially like half of your game just gone right there. So
okay, so let me re-ask the question now, because I think that you're going to shoehorn yourself by doing this. Unfortunately, I'm going to shoehorn you, and you're going to be running me in a circle here. Unfortunately, does Nani do any of the things in between the lines that you'd say that Neto can't do?
That's why I said I wouldn't be as. That's why I would say I'd rather Neto, but I wasn't like, oh, like we have to keep Nani either. Like I think he does it slightly better, but like not to an efficient level. So that's why I'm not like that pressed about it if he leaves either. I just think that Neto, I feel like, just gives me a little bit more one-dimensional vibes generally. But like I said, I do think to his detriment, like some of the the way the squad was built didn't maximize some of the things that he does actually bring. So again, like we'll see next year if that isn't the case anymore. So, but yeah, I'm not really like when it comes to our attack, I'm not really like tied to like most of the players there, just because obviously like they all have their ups and
They have
downs.
their flaws. Probably outside of Palmer. It's pretty much
Yeah.
the only one we can say.
Yeah.
I agree with that for the most part. I also I think Neto has I've watched Neto enough to know that his quality is going to shine as the attack kind of grows. Like he's always had a striker that's with like either Raul Jimenez or he had this Sladovic guy from Austria. There was like 6'5" guy that he had for like half a year last year that like he was just throwing crosses into the box for. But it's a lot of the time, a lot of what he does is like his cross accuracy is where he shines, and that's why he gets into the Portugal team over Leao. Because obviously they play with Ronaldo up top right now, and like with Ronaldo, you're limited to certain things to what you can do with them, and obviously aerially and crossing is like what they want, that like what he can thrive off of. So Neto is going to be the obvious winger that starts over Leao pretty much every single time, and with this until Cristiano Ronaldo leaves. But with a striker like the Lap, I think it's going to end up just getting more out of him, especially if you play him on the left. This is where I think, like, if we look at like I like to use, like, we can just use an American term here, a depth chart. Like the way I see it, it would be like Neto and Jamie Gittins on the left as like the top, the two for wingers. So it'd be Neto, Jamie Gittins, and then it would be the Lap up top with either who you replace Jackson with or Jackson, and then Palmer, Kudus as like a backup 10, but Kudus also playing right wing as a starter, and then Nani behind him. And then there's zero pressure with Esteval in that manner. Like you can play Esteval in the sparing games because he's 19. You don't have to put that much pressure on him. And then if he thrives in the moments that he gets within the 6 months, then you can move from Nani. That's best case scenario in my opinion. Like if we were to have best case scenario here, we would have Nani for another 6 months and move him on in January. Like that's the best case scenario for us, because Esteval would have been embedded in by then. We would be able to play him in moments in certain games in the cups and things of that nature. If he thrives in those moments, which we hope he does, right? Then you can play him in Premier League games and get him more embedded into the Premier League games. With Neto still being both-sided, you don't necessarily need Nani. And I do think that Maresca has faith in his guys, like, and unfortunately his guys are U21 Man City players. Like that's who his guys are. Like those are the guys that he brought up. The Lap, Jamie Gittins, Lavia, Palmer, those are his guys. Like these are guys he's already coached. So like he has faith in these players already. Like these are players that he knows that are gonna bet into his system very quickly. This isn't something, and that's part of the reason why I'm not as like down on some of these players that we're getting to others, is because the betting in time that these players need compared to any other player that we bring in potentially is going to be totally different, because these guys already have played with this guy before in this system. The Lap and Gittins have already played in this system. That's why, like, eventually, like, this is why I see those two players actually hitting the ground running right from the get-go. Like, right from the beginning, both of those guys will end up running. And everyone's sleeping on Jamie, but I've watched enough tape to see when he plays on the wing, he's going to be just fine. But especially in this league where P&P is everything. Literally, P&P is everything in this league. If you have P&P, majority of the time, you're going to be fine. Like that's just... Even Nani, he's a well sought after player in this league. Like he's a well sought after player. Like it's not, people hate on this guy, and I even hate on this guy, but he's gonna be a player that is gonna end up being bought by somebody else and used on a consistent basis. Like PMP is everything in this league. It really is. Like just when I watch these players, I'm not worried about them coming into this football team and working out because with the manager that we have at this current moment, I know it will. But I do think Madueke is probably going to be odd man out in this scenario, like overall, because just based off of we bought Neto last year, just from that vein, they were Neto probably came up with bigger moments for us too.
Yeah.
I mean, for this team, so like I just see Nani kind of being the odd man out here if we get Kudus. Now, I'm gonna ask a question here. It's gonna be kind of long, so like bear with me here. All right. Me personally, I'm not a fan of Nico Jackson, and this is gonna be the last question of the day. Me personally, I'm not a fan of Nico Jackson. Most people on this channel already know this, okay? But the players that we're being linked with, Hugo for, let's just say, 100 million. I think Nick Woltemade is going to be about 30. And then there's one odd one that I've already brought up in this show, which is Duran. We've had long-standing links with Duran, and he's available for loan. Now, between these players, because I'm not going to speak about Osimhen, I'm not going to speak about Gyökeres. Those are, to me, those are what we're really trying to go for at this current moment.
Yeah.
So, with those three players in mind, what do you just stick with Nico Jackson, or would you go and you switch Nico Jackson out, sell him for 55, 60 million, and get one of these players? What's your thoughts, Yasir? What are you thinking, bro?
I don't know. The Jackson one is a bit, I don't know, man. Because my thing with Jackson's always been that I thought he was a good footballer. He's just playing up front. He missed the thing a striker would have. If you're a natural striker, you just have those things, and he didn't have it, right? And I couldn't have a striker that couldn't finish unless our wingers were so good that he was providing for them. You get kind of, and you can get away with it because we say, you know what, we're getting 20 or 30 GA from our wingers each or whatever. We're getting away with Jackson not being that great. The problem is, I don't see the point of a Duran loan unless he stays. If you're gonna have Duran as backup to, or
I mean,
you know,
not
as a second
necessarily.
striker.
What if in the end, right? I mean, I think there's a possibility he would end up staying. By the way, because
But would he be backup?
like I
Because he was
said
backup at Villa.
before Duran left, all right. Like I said before Duran left for Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia is not meant for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, there are certain rules and things that you have to abide by living in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the Arabs know it. Yeah,
okay? So much so that they knew Duran could not abide by those rules, that they have to fly him in from a different country that he would be living in for training every day. This is all true, by the way. Everything that I'm speaking about is true. He flies to training every day from a different country that allows him to drink, okay? That allows him to be with his girlfriend, okay? This is all true. This is well reported. You can go and look it up on Twitter yourself, all right? There's a chance. But even if there's not a chance, right, even if he does leave, you will be 21 by the time he comes back from loan, if we loan in Duran.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, you really have, a few options here if you do loan in Duran. Like, if you're loaning in Duran, you're giving you another year of development somewhere else, and then you see where he's at, and he can come back and be the backup for us.
Yeah.
But for that withstanding, what's your thoughts? Like, what do you think we should be
doing? The Jackson situation is a bit different. But for me, I'm not necessarily too fussed about selling Jackson, but also I do know that he can help us. You'd rather have a player there than not have a player there if anything happens or you don't have the squad, right? You don't want to be that person that just overplays some of our players, because if you also look at our winger situation, if some of them get injured, obviously now we're getting a few more players in, but Neto's already injury prone, that as it was beforehand. You don't all of a sudden want to start increasing the workload because we don't have players there, yeah? But because remember, we can also use Jackson on the wing or whatever, and there's a bit more things that you can utilize him on. Now, if you say, from what I've watched from that Nick Watermill guy, I just think he's another guy that, like you said, was not necessarily ready. Would he be a backup? It can be possible, but now you start looking at, are these the kind of players are you going to be taking on your potential title challenges, those kind of games? And if one of them is injured, would that player be good enough to hold that position in the meantime? Yeah. So I think Duran would be a very good option in terms of he's already played in the Prem. He got more experience, right? So I think, and he's a different kind. I think for me, from what I've seen from him, he's more of a running behind striker, right? So that would be a different profile to a Liam Delap. So it'd give us a different option. So I would kind of go with him. So that kind of takes back what I said about maybe I wouldn't get Duran because it's a loan, yeah. But
Yeah.
but it does still
I have
mean
to give you more context.
yeah. But if we can keep it, if he ends up being good and keeping him, then I think he's a good backup in that position as a number 2. So Nico it depends on who you get in. Obviously, if you get a player in who's better than Jackson, and kind of takes his place in terms of that development player, whatever it is that we're trying to get, then we would rather have the better player, right? Because with Jackson, he still has a lot of people see him as a good player in the market and whatever, so you can still get him. You can still move him on if you need to, but it kind of all depends on the positions, and are you getting better cover, or are you just getting someone who won't provide as much as as a Jackson.
I hear it. So Duran really would be the one that you would say is the one that you would take, and if
Probably, yeah. Even if I like that Watermode guy more, I just think Duran is just a better player for the here and now.
You want to know something with the Ultimate thing? I think that the way that they're looking at it is this: is we could potentially have the future of England and Germany as our strikers. That's the way I think they're looking at it, bro. Like, seriously, though, if you think about it, put it in perspective. Who got called up for Germany?
Huh?
Ultimate.
Who got called up for Germany?
Yeah.
Easy.
Ultimate.
Yeah, because remember
He's
some
a starter.
people. Remember what they were saying in the group though. He plays for the under-21s. He's 23.
Then he went down to under-21s, cooked an entire nation's youth team, and then he'll probably do that for the rest of the tournament. But he's playing 10 there, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing the 10 for Germany and the youth team.
In the under-21s.
This is me out because it should be Tom Bischoff. Which is my young baller, but whole nother conversation. SK. And by the way, Dave, I wanted Barry in January. If you go to my Twitter and you look at all the names that I was bringing up, I wanted Tierno Barry in January. I was screaming for Tierno.
Who are those players? Because I'm not aware.
Oh,
Lorenzo Luca is a 6'6" Italian player who plays at, I think he was at Udinese last year. He got loaned out to Ajax for a year. He's not consistent enough, in my opinion. Just as he has a flurry of goals in certain moments. He's one of those like purple patch type of players, but he is a monster, like 6'6", like in like 200, like bullying people in that league. So great name, Dave. Lorenzo Luca is a great name. That's an FM name if I've ever seen one. And then Tierno Barry is the U21 striker for France.
Oh yeah.
SK, my guy. Out of the 3 strikers I named, would you be replacing Jackson?
So the German guy, I still need to watch more tape on him. So I don't really have a strong opinion on him yet.
Okay. There's a really good, by the way, SK. If you go to my Twitter, there's a really good breakdown of him that I retweeted that you can read. It has pretty much play by like how I would break it down, but then it also has like my piece of information on top of it. So like when you get a chance, right, go ahead and read it because it's a long read. It's not something that's short. It's a very long read.
Wait, link your Twitter in the private then.
Yeah, I got you.
And then Ekatika, I'm very high on Ekatika. I just don't know if I'm high enough to spend like what'd you say? You know, like 80 to 100 mil to
it's 84 million pounds, 100 million euros.
Yeah, that's just I don't know. I don't know if like I don't think he's like I do think he's better than Jackson currently, but I don't think he's better enough to like offset that price. And I also think it probably also depends on what you think Chelsea should be aiming to do next year. Because if the aim is just okay, we need to like consolidate.
The aim is obvious, bro. Similar to this year. The aim is so obvious, bro. It's not to challenge this year, it's to challenge potentially next year. You heard Maresca come out and say, "Oh, I'm a year ahead." He came out and said it himself. He said, "I'm a year ahead. They told me that I needed to get this deal done by next year. I got it done this year." That's what he said.
Oh no, that's fair. I mean, I guess I don't really read as much media stuff as I probably should, but basically, I guess if that's the case, then
that's okay. That's what I'm here for, to give you more context. That's what I'm here for.
So then I asked if that's the case, is Ekitike worth that 80 mil to be like, okay, like now we're taking it to this should take us to the next level because that's basically that's basically next level money. It's like you need to upgrade us like per verbatim. Like it's not like a maybe. There's no ifs. There's no like you need to be a clear crystal upgrade. So, and I don't think he's that as it stands as of June 14th, 2025. So as high as I am on him, I wouldn't do that. And then was there a third guy that you brought up or
Duran?
Bro, I've not kept up with Duran since he's went to Saudi. He's like Duran's a funny guy.
He's been awful. That's context for it. He's been awful.
It's funny. Duran's like in many ways.
But bro, we know what he can do. That's not like
No, I know. I'm saying in many ways, he's like the anti-Nicholas Jackson. He's like, I'm gonna come into this game. I don't give a crap about linking crap up. I don't care about. I'm gonna run it behind. You're gonna give me that damn ball, and I'm just gonna shoot it. And it's gonna go in the back of the net. So
yeah, I'm gonna shoot it from anywhere.
Exactly. So, I mean, you look at the pros and cons, right? If you say he hasn't been that good, and I know you're talking about like his funny practice requirements, like, is he in a headspace where he wants to leave? Would Al Nasser want to try to just offload him as quickly as possible? So, you factor all those things in as well. I would say Duran's probably like for the right price. Well, obviously, all three of these guys.
It's a loan, really. It would be a loan.
Okay. I guess but then what would a loan really do? Because like a loan with an obligation, like a loan with an option, like what would that what would that option price be like? There's just too many variables. I know. Obviously, I'm not giving you the
maybe it's just a straight loan. Let's just say it's a straight loan.
But I don't think that would be useful.
I mean, it's not like we don't have a young striker that's coming up at this current moment either. He's only 20 years old.
I mean, we have like 17 of those. Like we already have 17 of those. So it's like
no, we don't. We have 2.
Yeah, we have.
Well, at the club, I meant like I was exaggerating, obviously, but like I mean, like when you go with the whole like.
And by the way, Omega's coming in next year too, which in my opinion is a loan. It's a loan. It's just a selling aspect of it. Like you just say, a piece for us to sell, but realistically, it's not like we don't have 2 young strikers like Omega and and you are still on this team. And you will be 21 next year.
I forgot about Mark Gio.
Yeah, so like a loan really isn't like necessarily like wouldn't necessarily bring out of the question. The nice thing is, Dave, when we do a loan, Saudi will pay most of the fucking wages. We'll create a wage structure that we're willing to pay Saudi off of their wages. That's the way that you have to look at it. Not necessarily how much is Duran getting paid. It's how much are we willing to take off of Saudi's wage bill in this case, because he's just not a piece that's being used properly over there is the best way I can describe it. I mean, you put him, you bring in him, and then it's like you bring in him, and then he's the backup to Cristiano Ronaldo. It's like it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like it really just doesn't. Even they try to play them together, and it didn't work out. Like, I'm sorry, I'm coming to you last every single time, my guy. But question again is, out of the three, would you be replacing Nico Jackson?
Out of the three, you see, I think what's wrong with having three strikers though, or
But that's just what the club's not. The club is telling us that it's not happening. Three strikers ain't happening.
All right.
Because think about it this way: they think that whoever, like the Kudus or Morgan Rogers or one of those, it's going to be a versatile attacker that can play multiple positions. And AKA, I think they think the same with Ekatike. I think Ekatike would play some left wing for us.
Damn. All right. So if it's out of the three, and say we're already getting like just hypothetically, we're already also getting a Kudus, then I'd still get Duran, even if it's on a loan, because I've seen what he can do from his days at Villa. I don't know if he's like regressed or anything like that. We'd have to see. But if it's just a loan, I'll take that. Because we don't really have a lot of guys that can like shoot from distance or just be like, fuck it, I'll just take this shot. Sometimes you need that.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. Yeah. And someone said it in the chat. I think it's CNF. He said with Jackson, there's a lot of things he does before the play in terms of all the build up, obviously. And with Duran, you always see him carry the ball, and if he's in a good space or he thinks he can shoot, he'll just have a shot.
Yeah, if he has enough room to shoot it, he's gonna shoot it, bro.
Yeah.
As long as he's not, bro. As long as Duran is beyond the circle, like the middle circle, like if he is beyond,
in the middle of the pitch,
potentially capable of hitting it. Like that is real.
And you know what it is, Joey. Anywhere in between the half pitch.
Yeah,
like half the pitch onwards.
He cuts off the pitch literally, bro, because the distance he can hit the ball from makes him so dangerous that you have to get close to him, and then he'll just run in behind you, like that.
Even his runs. Do you remember his runs, Joey? Do you remember his runs for Villa?
Bro, Yasser, bring bully ball back to Chelsea.
Yes.
Bring bully ball back to Chelsea.
100%. Yeah. This is why, Joey, I've been looking more at players similar to what you've been doing, yeah. And you do it in much more detail and stuff, yeah. But I've been looking at more the profile of player and what he can provide for us as an individual. Similar to that, if I bring him here, what can he help? What can he do for me? I don't expect the player to do what he does there exactly here, because obviously now it's more system based, and we're not relying on individuals to do their thing, like what they did back in the day, where you just give the player the ball and he does everything.
That's exactly how you're supposed to look at football, people. What Yasir is speaking about is the problem with the way football is looked at this current moment. Okay, in my opinion, bro, people speak like this. Okay, people speak like this. All right. And to me, Gyökeres is going to be the perfect example of why this type of the way that you look at these players is different for every team. You can't go and buy a player, say, oh, he scored 90 goals for this team, so that means he's going to do that for us. No.
Yeah.
No. And that is my point. The way that football is right now, everybody knows what it is. It's systems. Football is about systems. It's not about individuality anymore. And this is not a player that's good. Individually, it's not this fucking ridiculous player. I get why people look at this guy and they say, "Oh, we gotta go get this guy." No, I'm tired of it, bro.
Because think of it like this, though. Think of it like this, yeah. In other leagues, in a
The
lot of
era
the
of
other
Mavericks
leagues,
is over.
yeah.
Thank you. This is a profile era. The era of Mavericks is over. And by the way, it's not just football. It's not just football. It's basketball. Look who's in the finals in the NBA finals at this current moment. Two young teams that were built based off of systems and coaching. That's who's in the NBA finals currently.
Would you say it's because, like, and this is for the NBA, would you say it's that the quality of the players not has lowered, but like there hasn't been that level of player to kind of bring that back? Or is it just that teams are moving more towards the system? Because I don't really know of a LeBron like.
It's more.
Bro, here's
I think
the
it's more
point.
like the
3
average.
players can't beat 5.
That's true.
If
Yeah, I
you
think
play
I think it's more like the
three
average
players
player.
can't beat 5.
Yeah, I think it's just
bench.
like the average player is just like better. So you can't just be like, oh, like we have the best player, so we're just gonna win. Like
It's kind of people do the whole Pep's fault.
Like there was like a point in the NBA where it was like, oh, like I mean, 3 out of the 5 players you have on this court can't even score the damn basketball anywhere. So we're just gonna ignore them.
But am I wrong with what I'm saying?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But this is
where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
Systems and coaching is what's winning in sports, not individuality. Period.
This is why Joey Poch is dying. Because remember the Poch thing, yeah? And a lot of people didn't realize this when he was an out club. He done this whole freestyle thing. We never had a system. We never had coaching. And my thing is, of course, they say that, you know, the wingers and the strikers, you give them a bit more freedom to, you know what I mean, and attack, and they make the decision. But you don't really do that with younger players because a lot of the time they're still trying to understand. You know, kind of give them an idea what you want them to do or whatever. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's almost like when you want to do a thumbnail, sometimes you need to see an idea or kind of give an, because otherwise you're just looking at a black canvas and you don't know what to do. You get what I'm saying? So the whole free stuff, like even it kind of for me started from like when Pep came in, because when Pep came in and he made his system and no one can beat him. Everyone started thinking, yo, we can do this whole tactic stuff, but if we don't have everyone working together, a whole team working together, we're just going to get beaten by this well-glued and well-machine-run team. So everyone's doing their system thing, but once they started adding players, it's not working out because you have to have
even more so. Here's the thing, bro, and we can just use Pep as the example, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he went to Barcelona, you know what he did?
Mm-hmm.
He got rid of all the stars. He brought in all the youth players: Xavi, Iniesta, Messi. All youth from Busquets. All the youth from the academy that he already coached.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, he already coached. That's where he was.
Yeah.
He brought them up. Okay? He brings them up to play his way because they've already played his way. And to be honest, it really started back in Ajax, in the Ajax days under the Johan Cruyff era. Like it really started there. Yeah, and that's when Cruyff. That's when they won everything. That's when Ajax won everything. But then individuality started to take back over. And there is a bit of that happening right now. I'm not gonna lie. There is a bit of the individuality coming and spreading its wings.
Because remember, it was Hazards and stuff. Joey, it was Hazards and stuff. And then it kind of went like now it's Palmer and those kind of players slowly coming back. So like a Yamal. The players are coming back.
You look at what happened to Yamal. Look what happened in both games. Who won? The team with the better system won. Portugal in the Nations League. Inter well, technically PSG,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because they had the best system.
But this
And
is
they played the
Joey,
best
look at the
football,
difference though, yeah.
the most
It's
fluid
system,
football.
but this is the thing. Now, this is where you can take this whole system thing to a new level, and where the
Turkey,
individuality
thank you.
and where the individuality matters. Yeah, is
Mhm.
you don't just get the player that suits you. You have that. He has to be a baller, like that level, like a like you see what they have in midfield, like a Vitinha, someone
Mhm.
that got good feet. You know when people keep always telling you, oh, dribble merchant, blah blah. No. Those players that have that that can think for themselves in that
Vitinha was
moment.
at Wolves, bro. 3
They
years,
said he
4
was too
years
short.
ago. Wolves
At Wolves, they said he
failing.
was too short.
He was at Wolves failing, bro. Vitinha was at Wolves failing 3 or 4 years ago.
Hmm.
Like, but the profile was found. He got another opportunity back in his home country.
Hmm.
He flourished under his profile, playing under a system, and then he got another opportunity under a system to allow him to flourish even more. Now he's the second, third best midfielder in the
Yeah,
world.
but you know what it is, Joey? This is for the modern
You
day
see,
fans. It's too much
if
thinking.
you don't, if you don't have it, because once again, no one player will beat an 11. No 2-3 players will be a full 11. Period. That's what's going on in football at this current moment. And Yamal is trying to break that. And by the way, Flick is doing a fantastic job behind Yamal with his system.
Definitely.
So like beyond Yamal's brilliance, there is still a process and a system that's letting Pedri flourish.
Mhm.
So like to me, this is what football is. Like to me, I'm enjoying. I'm gonna save this, Ator, because I want to speak about this after this. So I'm gonna save this. But yeah, it's the mixture of both, right?
Yes.
It is the mixture of both that you're getting that gets the best
Even
out
if
of
it's
it.
60-40.
There has to be a bit of freedom to be able to have to be able to get the best, especially with your creative wide players specifically, in my opinion. There has to be that freedom to be able to do what they do on a consistent basis and to take their man on. I like this. Coaches are given 5 years now of winning nothing. Players had more power and coach back then. Yeah, now it's the opposite. You're right.
But that's the go. But you know what it is now? It's just more of a gamble, isn't it?
People are getting where I'm coming from though. Like that's the thing. That's kind of where this whole channel is kind of like predicated on, is like making sure that like people get like where football is moving. Because like I don't look at players the same way most people do. And I'm glad that Yasir said what he said earlier.
Well, I'm similar to you. Yeah, but I also get your perspective. I get your perspective, and I also like the fact that you like. Cause remember, a lot of the fans now they look at it very basic. Just get this player and just put him in. He scored the goals. But it's also, I know that that's a way of looking at it. That's where like not the basic fan, but you kind of get my idea of where the guy who just supports the club will be like, just get me that player and he'll do the job. But we look into it, so it's more looking into it in more detail. But also, you know, we're looking at different eventualities and things that can happen and can't happen. You're looking at it from a board perspective, a player's perspective, a manager's perspective. You know, it's not always just calling. You know, we can all do the whole thing of calling someone a flop within a month because he didn't do what we wanted it to do, which is a lot. It's all a lot of the things are very based on player, like fans are like it's more emotional opinion. It's not really what the player comes in, and even like for example a Mudryk come in, if you really break down his career from when he's left Ukraine and come over here, and if I start telling you, okay, cool, he's only played 30 professional games in his career, you then buy him for that much money, bring him into Chelsea, you kind of hope that he does whatever he does, and then his family still left in Ukraine with us a war, you know what I mean? So you expect him still to raise above that. Then you had that
totally negligent to like when we're talking about something, a lot of players specifically.
Yeah. 100%.
Let's keep moving on some of this chat because the chat's moving quick.
Yeah, big up the chat.
Thank you. Mafia, this new generation of football is bringing. There are more Mavericks in this next generation of football coming up than we've ever seen before, and there will be more. There's more names than this. There's a lot more names than this.
But they need to be. They need to be like managed well, though. Sorry, Joey.
Yeah,
but
I can give you
it's
like
just something.
close to 30 names, bro. That could change the way that football is looked at this current moment. Like literally, like could be changing the way football is. But they have to get the opportunities in the right teams.
Yeah, and exactly. Like it's like the Felix thing. Make that right move.
Yep.
Being managed well, and also us understanding a lot of these players that have these qualities that with Mavericks, so they can potentially be one of the best in the world or do special things. Also come with the extra baggage that we don't always look at. Maybe. Maybe they don't focus as well, train well. Maybe there's all these other things. But if
Brighton got a kid, bro. Not Brighton. Bournemouth got a kid, bro. That's gonna hit the Premier League this year. I hope. He's only 20, but eventually this kid's gonna be a goddamn problem, bro. Everyone's gonna remember this kid's name once I say it. His name is Eli Junior Krupi. This kid is going to be a goddamn problem.
Which team does he play for again?
Yeah,
Bournemouth, bro. He plays for Bournemouth. I wanted Strasbourg to get him so fucking bad. We were this close too. We were this close, and then Bournemouth pulled the trigger pulled the trigger because they own the team he was at. So like,
Bro, I'm not
they done what we do. You know what I mean?
This multi-sport ownership thing is like overpowered, bro. If you do it right,
they pulled on us.
No, but how many ownerships?
Yeah, Dave. Thank you.
I know the City Group do it. I know Crystal Palace and Lyon. Obviously,
it's the Michael B. Jordan pool. You know what I mean?
Liverpool. By the way, don't be surprised if Liverpool ends up with a multi-club model by the end of the year. They'll have a team in France or in Portugal by the end of the year. I almost
Joey, it's the Michael B. Jordan pool, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, dude. Young. I think you're supposed to say this is supposed to say young or Yog Thakuri. Yog Thakuri. This is an African name, I think, maybe. Second stint of Mourinho. Second year was perfect balance. Cesc and Hazard and Cesc with Flair and everyone else who plays within the system. You're right. It was. But that's what you do with your flair players is you give them the freedom to be themselves and you create a system around them to be able to allow them to be themselves and be the best player that they can be. That's my biggest worry for Turkey at this current moment at City is I don't think that Pep's thinking about that.
Do you think that Pep?
I don't think he's thinking about letting Turkey be Turkey.
Sorry, Joe. Do you think Pep may change the system completely this season?
He's gonna have to.
Yeah, I think he's going back to the. I think he's probably going back to the roots, like because if you look at what he was doing, if you look at what he was doing since like
Sané and Sterling, isn't it?
Oh, and even outside of that,
Monk, you're wrong here, man. You're wrong. This is PSG before getting Kvaratskhelia was not winning this Champions League.
Yeah.
PSG when Vara came in, they allowed the system to be specifically winger and fluid front three oriented, but behind them was very rigid.
Yeah.
Especially in the midfield and where Vitinha, Neves, and Fabian Ruiz were being played. It was very rigid in the way that they wanted to play. And when I say rigid is they had a specific way of bringing the ball out of the back every time. Every single time they brought the ball back out of the back the same way. They had different options, but it was the same way that they brought the ball out of the back. Okay? That is a system.
But this is also sorry, Joe. This is also where I'm not even. I haven't read this yet, but this is also why. This is when a team splashes the money on a player, like Kvaratskhelia. Yeah, when they realize that he's the profile of player that they need, and he's if let's say whether he's available or not. But that's where you go all out to get the player because you know that you need him. Does that make sense? And he suits your system perfectly. This is where a team spends the 100 million, 80 million, 90 million on a player. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not just on the name and because that's his buyout clause. He just goes spend the money to get the player. You get him because that's what you need to have on that left wing or whatever they were saying. But yeah, going to this, it's easy to have Mavericks on the wing. In the middle, it's frowned upon. Yeah, because in the middle, you need to have that. Because this is, if you look at City this season, what let them down the most was their midfield.
Yeah, it was the transition. They couldn't defend.
The minute you went through their midfield, all the attackers were going straight at the defenders, and if there's no structure, your defense just fumbles. And if you looked at this season, the season just gone, City were kind of paying for every mistake they were making.
Yep.
Do you get what I'm saying? It was not like they were getting away with things. It was literally every time someone had a shot, it was going in kind of thing. Every time they were getting countered, it was going in. But it showed how important the midfield is.
But the thing with the middle too is like that's always going to be the most congested area. So you need your cleanest technical players.
But it wasn't always like that. It's just like that now, the way that people play.
But yeah, because of the inverted stuff as well. So you have all these extra players in midfield now.
Yep.
And it's also kind of sometimes being overdone. And I think PSG showed that where their fullbacks don't even invert, but they can always control that midfield, regardless of whether they played Liverpool, whose midfield is known to be good, or Inter and all these teams.
This chat right here is literally football in a nutshell. Set up a good structure. Trust your game changers. Improvise when needed to get the win. Pretty much how you manage a football team at this current moment.
Because the thing with PSG too is, and like to the point that comment you just brought up is, PSG have, I would say, like 6-7 players that I would consider to be at bare minimum like good dribblers.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think sometimes we don't deep how overpowered that is. Like when you're a coach, because you can essentially create advantages at will, right? Like if one player gets past someone, now you have a +1, whether it's like through a specific side or down the middle. And that's just if one player does it. But you have like 5-6 players that can do it consistently, and it's like, damn, like we basically can't press these dudes because if we do, like we're basically liable to give up like an advantage to them. And when you can generate that so easily, it's like that's basically when you get to a point where if you can play make on top of that, you're basically just creating chances for fun because you can attack from so many angles and you have so many like passing options to like go through. So it's like one of those things where if you're a coach, which I think is also what Pep is going with all of these like signings that he's going for, because he's getting a lot of like high technical players in that can like I guess maybe outside of like that guy that they got from Milan. I wouldn't consider Rangers to be like a player that does that like that, but obviously he brings his own profile as well. Like I feel like Pep maybe is trying to go back a little bit to what he used to do in terms of just being able to like create advantages like easily. Because the City team that he had for the last 2 years prior to them falling off this year was where on top of the whole passing thing, we're going to be like physical, we're going to be hard to beat, and we have like this battering ram called Haaland up front that's just going to like dunk on you if you give him any opportunity to do that. So.
Yeah. I even agree in this comment, because Pep turned the league into a chess match.
I mean, it's still kind of a chess match still.
Yeah, but like,
the difference is it's a chess match to get your best players in the best positions. That's what it's a chess match about.
Yeah, but remember
it's
how
not necessarily this. I think that Monk is looking at it in a manner of like tactics is going to win everything. Like, no, it's not that.
Yeah,
obviously, players are what wins you matches, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting your players in the best position for them to be successful.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about when it comes to systems. Not necessarily like he says, a chess match. Like, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what is it that allows you to get the most out of your players, and what system allows you to do that? Or are you building a team around that system that does get those players the best opportunities?
And also, when you
I
say
don't know why they call it a chess match though, because of how slow the game is now.
No, but
So-
even when you do that, when you see chess match in a chess game, which to be fair, I don't play chess. I don't know. I'm talking like I do. I'm assuming you can only move one piece at a time.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas in a football match, obviously, like you have constant rotations going on all over the place. So it's like,
Yeah.
like I get the point about like it's slow, but it's like I feel like sometimes we do it a bit of a disservice when you call it that, because it's like no, like there's still a whole bunch of other things happening, even if you're only seeing like one of those things at a time. Which is why like sometimes like let me ask you guys this: how do you guys usually like to watch? Like when you are rewatching games, what do you usually like to do? Like
Wait,
when
say
you
that
guys
again?
like when you guys are rewatching, like you're rewatching a match, right?
Yeah.
How would you? What is your approach to do that?
Depending on what I'm looking for a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like in certain games, I wanted to see what our buildup would look like. So I'll literally just use. I'm like a fast forward merchant. I'm just sitting there fast forwarding every time they have the ball, and then when we get the ball back, I'll watch the buildup of how we progress the ball up, and like what our issues are specifically in that. Like I'm looking at specific, or I'm looking at how a player played. So like I'm looking at what actions that he's in. Like I said, I'm a fast forward merchant. I have this little Steam Deck thing here that I use that I click. I just have to twist the knob and it fast forwards me up to the spot that I want.
I got the Stream Deck as well. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
So like I'm just sitting here and just like, shoot. All right.
I ain't got the button thing. I just have the one.
Yeah,
with,
well,
like,
you can set it up
buttons.
that way. That's the way I have it set. I had it set up that way. But,
Yeah. So yeah.
but yeah, I mean, like football in a manner is you don't necessarily have to spend the most money on a player for you to get the most out of the player. That's my point here. It's like there's a lot of other variables here that come into it, right? Now, like there are some players that can break the system, right? Like Egregious Monk is saying. But once again, 11 will always beat 1 or 2 or 3 players. So you still have to have a cohesiveness within the team for you to be successful in football. That's it.
No, I agree.
Let me just go through these chats and I'm going to end it because I'm almost at 2 hours and I only wanted to do one. Beat the press. Yep, you're right. A lot will depend on how quickly Rodri comes back into form. Correct. I've already addressed Egregious Monk, so I'm just going to skip this. PSG didn't need to invert. It's like Prime Barca. Yes, they didn't need to invert. You're right. Their midfield is a little bit different, but they also do like it's not like they're they just have they have troubles in press with press moments, right? Like as long as you can get out of the press with them, you're good. Like that's the way they think. Is like as long as their system can get themselves out of the press, they're okay. Just Maresca feels that he would rather have an extra body in midfield, to allow himself the type of counter to not be getting countered from central areas. That's the way that he looks at it. Where in PSG's case, he doesn't mind getting countered in central areas because his wing backs are up the field, up the wings most of the time. So he would rather get himself countered from central areas. So to me, it's like I don't necessarily think inverting a player is wrong or right necessarily. It's just circumstantial because you can create a situation where your wingers are more inside to just stop that from happening. That's what a lot of teams started to do to us. Like your wingers are defending a lot more closer to the inside of the pitch, and then that's how you stop it. And that's how you force long balls. And with Sanchez and long balls is just not a good mix. Look at the way we scout. strikers and 10s now. If you're looking for a world-class finisher, but you can't press, you're worth 20 million. JoJo World BDK, I don't know what that means, or maybe he's just speaking to me. 10 years ago, apart from the top 16, no one was playing out from the back. Now everyone wants to do it. Yep.
Would you say that this is because the quality or the average quality of players has increased, or is it because people are copying what they see as successful?
The latter, and the lack of quality big men in football up at the top of the pitch, because you can't be direct without a guy without a big man up at the top of the pitch. There's not really a way to be direct without that. So everyone in essence has to play out of the back in that sense.
To be fair though, I'd also say some of those lower end Prem teams from like 10 years ago, like
they were, bro. Stoke, big up Peter Crouch though, but no.
Like if I'm thinking 10 years ago, like I remember there was the first year of like Slaven Bilic's West Ham team was like I consider them good.
Yeah, but he had big strikers up top.
No, but I'm talking about like the quality. I'm talking specifically like the quality aspect. Like I would consider
but those guys didn't. Most of those guys didn't play from the back. Like once again, the quality.
No, I'm not saying you have to. Like I'm not saying like
I know, but that's what he's talking about. He's talking about like the difference between what teams used to do back in the day, which was hoofballing and having knockdown football and creating those types of situations in that manner, and playing defensive football and just playing through their striker. Now it's everyone wants to play through the back of the line, like through the in between the lines. Like that's what teams are doing. That's what he's speaking about. So I'm giving you what it was back in 10 years ago. That nearly everyone had a target man in the middle of the table. Everyone from middle of the table at the bottom, everyone had a target man, and if you didn't, you were getting relegated pretty much. Like that's literally what the formula was back then. And shit, if you put it into perspective, Brentford showed you that it still worked. If you really put it into perspective, like they showed you it still works. Tony came in right from being promoted. They came in with Tony, played hoofball up to Tony, and played knockdown football, and showed you that it could keep you up in the table, keep you up in the league. But teams don't want to play that way. It's the truth. It's not appealing to the eye, so the fan bases don't like it as much. Everyone wants to try to play expansive football.
But people call that boring too. So it's like I think people are just never satisfied, to be honest.
We'll see. I don't think that he has the wingers to do it. He has too many 10s. He has like 4 or 5 10s. The Curry. He has 4 or 5 10s. So I don't know. All right, I'm gonna answer this question and I'm ending it. I'm sorry. So how much do you think this is going to be at the start of the season, like a problem from the start of the season? I think that the big problem here, Ion, in my opinion, is the fact that our preseason is pretty much the Club World Cup. So, like, we only new signing that we really brought in was the Lab. So, like, that's going to be like the one guy that's going to get time to bet in with all the other players. Yeah. I'm not too worried about Jamie coming in and betting in. I think that he's like the type of profile that would bet in very quickly. But everybody else is that's where it turns into an issue. In my opinion, is the new players that are coming in because I mean just the betting in time and the lack of training camp that they're going to have after the Club World Cup is really the issue here, in my opinion.
Sorry, before you end it, what do you think about the intensity though? Do you think that obviously usually in preseason the intensity is not as high as it would be as being in the competition? Obviously, being in a competition and playing games, do you think that will affect us in terms of, especially with the squad?
I blanked out for a second.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, you know how usually when you have preseason, it's a bit more laid back and it's just about whatever. Yeah, obviously we're gonna go into a competition where it might just be a bit more high, like more intense than it usually would be. And obviously, with the season has just ended, so it kind of feels like a continuation from this season going into that. Obviously, the Club World Cup, depending on how far we go, and then going into the next season. So, do you think that it will affect us in terms of tiredness and stuff like that? The players' fitness.
I think it would be. I think it's gonna be pretty interesting in the sense of like I do think that there's like the aspect of them not having this big gap of not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, here, you know what I'm saying? It's only been a few weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Where they'll probably been training for at least a week before this even on top of it.
Yeah.
So they probably had about a week and a half, 2 weeks of off.
Yeah.
So they're probably still pretty fit. Like everyone's probably still pretty fit from the season.
Yeah.
So like then they'll probably get like another week or so off too, still, and then before the season really starts to kick off. I don't think tiredness is really an issue. I'm just worried about wear and tear.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. More like potential injuries, and obviously we've taken most of our main
I am
team.
a little bit worried about, especially because of the lack of. Especially at the wing position, in my opinion, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like Neto isn't we've only gotten really 1 year of Neto.
Yeah.
Like that's the
And
big
also
problem.
the players we've taken.
And
Obviously,
a year of Neto. Before this, he was very, very injury prone, and we need wingers.
And we haven't really. The thing is, my thing is this: is the squad that we've taken in it. So it's not like we've taken the Felix and the Vega.
Yeah, like if God forbid, knock out wood, bro. If Ray gets injured, we're fucked at left back.
Yeah.
So, like that's I mean, I hear that injuries will be a problem, but I do see us. We did bring quite a bit of players. It's like we brought like I think 28 players. So I do see like a bunch of youngsters getting opportunities in those positions, in a lot of positions, especially early on. Like I don't see Caicedo. I like Sunday. You probably don't expect like a lot of the top end of our team to be.
No. Don't play them. You know.
Like the first game, I wouldn't expect anybody significant to be playing a lot of minutes. Maybe outside of there's like nobody. I would say I wouldn't play Reese at all. Maybe some Gusto. The problem is, Mafia, fucking Atlanta's like the best pitch we're playing on the entire tour. It's literally it's the first game. That's the problem. Like Atlanta's literally the best pitch that we would be playing on the entire tour. Like who said it was a good idea to play in Philly?
Damn.
Who made that a good idea? That field is awful.
Don't let Reece James step on that pitch, bro. That's crazy.
Bro, like that field is fucking awful, bro. That field is awful. It's awful for football players. Like NFL players. You think it's gonna be good for fucking Premier League standard fucking field? My ass. Let's see, like, bro, and they put a lot of new grass down though for these fields for the World Cup. They were forced to, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. They were all the stadiums that got World Cup were forced to put new grass down.
Who even allowed MetLife to be not even where's the final being played for the actual World Cup?
Miami, I think.
No, I mean like the actual World Cup.
Oh, it's Dallas. Jerry World has a great field, bro. Jerry World's probably one of the best fields, best grounds we could give them, bro. Outside of maybe one of these college football locations. Like
what about that SoFi Stadium?
The Big House is a terrible field too. Fucking bro, Philly. I honestly can't believe that they thought Philly was a good location. I can't believe it just gives me such I don't even care what the fuck happens in these games. In my opinion, like I hope we get grouped for all I give a fuck. Just nobody get injured, bro. Like nobody fucking get injured, bro. I do not care how these fucking games go. Do
So-
not get injured, bro.
You
Just-
don't want to like win?
I do
Like-
not give a fuck about anything. Do not get injured. Okay?
Do you not want to win?
Well, I like I said, we could get grouped and I couldn't give a fuck. Do not get
This is crazy, but I hear it though, because you're not trying to affect. You don't want to be affecting your whole season based on, you know what I mean, like, well, even though I rate the Club World Cup, but it's just one of them things, isn't it? You don't want to be losing a key player for that. But the good thing is that the transfer window will always be open.
I'll look
Even
into
though-
that actually.
Yeah.
I'll actually look into the pitches do get better if you make it out of the group stages. I'll get into that.
All right,
Mafia
cool.
would know though. If there's one guy that knows about this shit as much as I do, it's Mafia. So
Big up Mafia, man.
and the Mafia, I'm not going. I bought a 15. I'll do this at the end. I'll now that I'm here at the end, let me pull up this picture real quick. I spent nearly $15,000 on this thing, bro.
Damn.
It was just like I've been wanting one for a long time, so it was like one of those things where it's like, all right, Joe, get it done. Sage, we're about to end, my G. We're about to end, my G. I'm about to just show that I just spent like a bunch of money on this.
Oh, I've seen this. Yeah,
Oh,
I've seen
So
this one.
I spent a bunch of money on this thing. So I was gonna go to the Club World Cup, but I decided like when this opportunity came to buy this thing, I just couldn't turn it down. So I decided, you know what?
What's this? Like a
sacrifices must be
slingshot,
made.
whatever they call it.
Yep, that's what it's called. It's called Slingshot.
Yeah, I see. I know.
No,
the colour.
and I bought it next to new, bro. Like the thing was, when I bought it with the guy that I bought it from won it in a casino in a poker game. So it had 150 miles on it, like new, nearly new, 150 miles on it. And the old guy's an old guy that fucking. He's an old guy that fucking is like retired in this like 55 plus community. Bro was driving a fucking a 02 Lexus, like burnt, like the entire thing is burnt from the top to bottom because I live in the desert. And he had this thing in the garage. And I was like, oh, this guy's broke. Let me take advantage of this. Things like if I went to go see how much I could get for it traded in. I could get like $3,000 for nearly $4,000 more than I paid for it. So it was like an opportunity I just couldn't turn down, just based off of how much of a cost it was. So yeah, like bro, like I'll be able to see Chelsea. I'm gonna try to go to London this year. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna try to actually be at Stamford Bridge this year. So like this was an opportunity for me to get a toy that I've been really wanting to get for a while. So I fucking pulled the trigger and said, "Fuck the Club World Cup." And that's literally what happened. Like I was like, "Yo,
the Club World Cup will come and go, innit? But the car will stay in the garage. Yeah, it is what it
the
is.
car's gonna be in the garage still, bro. After the Club World Cup, the car's still in the garage, bro. Like,
yeah, man.
you know,
Listen,
like,
let me know when you're in London, innit? Because then I can pull up. I can drive
of
down
course.
from
I'm gonna, I'll bring my computer out there. We'll do like, I'm gonna do it like, hopefully try to link up with Lewis and do it like a live with him.
Yeah.
And shit, like that shit will be sweet. But yeah, like that's the reason why I'm not going to the Club World Cup this year, guys. I bought a toy for my garage. That's why. So as always, I appreciate everyone for coming in. We had like 60, 70 people in here, and I set the stream up like 15 minutes, 20 minutes beforehand. Yeah. So like things are growing. Things are really moving for this channel. I really appreciate everyone coming through. Appreciate Mike's jumping on. Yasir, my G. Glad to have you on again on the channel. Star Slayer, my literally head mod. Thanks for coming on, my guy. And then SK, nice of you to join us today. It was a pleasure meeting you, my man.
No, I
And
appreciate
the chat,
it. Too, bro.
I appreciate you guys for always supporting me. Just doing these streams on the random, on the whim. I always love the conversation. So big up to you guys. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. And you guys might see me tomorrow if we get some fucking news, right? Like, if we get some news, you might see me tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm probably going to just chill and watch the games on my own rather than doing watch-alongs and shit. Because
I didn't even ask, who are you rooting for the finals?
Oh, NBA finals? OKC.
Oh, bro, no.
I'm a New York Knicks fan. What are we talking about?
I understand.
Oh, you're a Knicks fan? Oh, no.
I'm a Timberwolves fan, bro, so fuck OKC.
No, I'm a Celtics fan.
Well, I hear it, and I hear it.
No, I'm a Celtics fan, so I got beef with you right now.
Understand.
Yeah, it's okay. You can beef with me all you want. Hold that shit.
You have to.
Oh, you still got a chip, though, so it's all good.
Hold that shit. Have a great day, everyone.
You too, bro.
You too.